Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, strong style, cinephile. So, Batwoman, anti-freeze. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes. Now, this episode kind of carries over the Freeze and Mr. Freeze involved theme from the last episode and carries it over into this one. The episode opens with this shady guy trying to unfreeze somebody that he has frozen, apparently using Mr. Freeze's kind of tech and research and that sort of thing. And he's like, hey, you're free to go. They stand up and they just fall down and shatter. So clearly their method is not without issue. What we end up finding out in this episode is secret societies are back in play because it's a superhero show. It's a comic book show. Secret societies, all the rage, all the time, of course. So in this, the Black Glove Society is an old organization, rich people want to stay in power, just typical stuff with secret societies. And they are working for a particular client to provide this technology for means that, who knows what they're going to use them for. I mean, we find out eventually, and we'll get to that in a second. Outside of that, you had some sort of top 30 under 30 type of event type of thing going on where Ryan gets lumped into it, which is apparently set up by her brother. And she's, of course, the acting CEO of Wayne Enterprises, which that goes to the whole, one of the negatives about the season, and it's just an issue back to the Arrowverse writers where they don't understand how the legal system works, how the corporate system works, and just certain systems that they just have play such a huge part in their shows. They just don't have the fundamental understanding of how they work, or they expect to just hand wave and just gloss over just basic stuff for the sake of the story. It's annoying at this point in time. You would think that they would learn not to do this, but here we are. So Ryan is there. Her brother just keeps trying to get close to her and just have a relationship with her, even though Ryan's like, hey, your mom's gonna come after me and my company if we talk, which they get seen with a picture together. Next thing you know, Jada is calling Vesper Fairchild and putting this story about embezzlement at Wayne, which of course is money being diverted to Bat activities, which, Jada knows, as they point out in the episode, that the money has been kind of moved around, but thankfully she doesn't know kind of where it's been moved around to. So that kind of tanks the stock. The investors get worried and they come for blood from Ryan. They want her to resign and that sort of thing. Ryan basically says, no, I'm not doing it. It's kind of like this, you see where kind of Bruce Wayne and his impact, even in absence, on the company, where it's like his addictions and all this kind of publicity stunts and just absences and things that he used to do to kind of keep up the public face of this billionaire playboy who doesn't care about anything but himself, to kind of, separate any sort of speculation he could be Batman. All of that weighs on the company, weighs on the people who have to work under that banner, and it comes back to bite them in the butt. So they want her to resign. It gets covered up. The resolution of the money thing gets covered up because they say it's for a super secret project. They were working with Argus. Diggle obviously gave Luke the hookup to fix things, but the company wants Ryan gone. Ryan's like, screw you, basically, I'm not leaving. And she pledges to team up with her brother to not let Jada take the company away from her. And I kind of wondered until the end of the episode, because I expected maybe he was dispatched by Jada to kind of getting good with Ryan and then screw her over in the end. We were going to see a heel turn at the end. We still might see that, who knows, but we find out that the Black Glove Society was hired by Jada to have this freeze technology where they could thaw and freeze people and thaw them out safely to do whatever she wants to with it. And she's apparently going to use it on her son for whatever reason, remains to be seen. Again, is this tactical? Is she this is a complicated individual already, layers. She has the one kid, she hates the other one. It's just, I'm anxious to kind of see more about this character and why is she the way she is? I'm supremely interested in where this goes with her, because she's just disturbed. Outside of that, you still have Mary and Luke beefing about the fact that Mary spilled the beans on his PTSD. You find Luke talking to the suit, telling him he's not going to turn it back on because the AI and the failsafe need to work together. The only way to get back at the AI, which is just a little piece of his father, to have any sort of interaction with that, he's got to turn on the failsafe. And he asks the suit if he's ready to put the suit back on. The suit's like, no, you're not. And he has to face that fact that he's still dealing with his PTSD. As mad as he is with Mary for breaking it up, it's a legit thing that he's still dealing with that could compromise him in the field, which obviously why the suit won't work, which could compromise Ryan in the field, et cetera, et cetera. So there are implications that maybe he should get himself fixed before he goes out there. Alice is going nuts inside of Arkham. They kind of figure out that maybe she is getting fed bad meds on the inside, so they're gonna do something where she's gonna be out and about, taking the right meds, and Sophie's gonna have to keep an eye on her. Sophie in this episode, her sister, was one of the guys that got kidnapped by the Black Glove Society. Apparently her sister and her friends were going to do an expose on the society basically, and they found themselves being the test subjects of this freeze-unfreeze stuff. Mary figured out how to unfreeze Sophie's sister safely by mixing plant jargon and stuff in with her, saves the day, and that's how the Black Glove Society gets the properly working sort of freeze tech stuff to do with what Jada, it's whatever she's gonna do with it. And for another week, we've got Mary kind of dealing with, kind of being sidelined by the rest of the team for, various reasons. We find her in the park where she got taken by who we presume to be Poison Ivy for reasons that we don't know yet, we don't fully understand, but hopefully it will be explained down the line. But Mary wants to tell them about it, about what she went through, and they're just kind of like, whatever. So it remains to be seen if this sort of issue with Mary feeling sidelined, everybody else's issues put above hers, even though she's there for everybody else's issues, if that will kind of, lead to a blow up down the line, a further fracture of Team Batwoman as things get hotter and heavier with Jada, if we get any more of the Black Glove Society and whatever other villains, play a role in this season, enough to kind of break up the team and then kind of bring them back together in the finale long enough to beat whoever is the, ultimately the big bad. I think that's kind of where they'll end up going with it. Remains to be seen, though. That was basically like the gist of the episode, all that kind of stuff, kind of swirling around. I kind of jumped around a little bit. All that stuff is just kind of swirling around the episode. Also, you had Sophie and Alice go look for clues at her sister's apartment. They get jumped by the Black Glove Society, set up for a trap. You have a moment between Sophie and Ryan, and again, we're just getting back to the whole just Ryan Sophie thing. We're just barreling down that track, and I just certain things are inevitable when it comes to CW shows, and it's just certain stuff you can guess because there are tropes and just tendencies and things that they just do and like to do, and you just see it, and it's just like it's just right there. You see it, and you just don't want to go towards it, but it's like a tractor beam, and you're just locked in, and that's where you're going. That's where we are with Ryan and Sophie, and I just don't like it. I'm just getting angry about it when I really should just not care, because I know that's what they're gonna do. We know that's what they're gonna do, but it just, just whatever. At this point, it just whatever. It's gonna happen. I just gotta shut up and just deal with it. I tolerate Alice on the show. That's just, I'm just gonna have to tolerate Ryan and Sophie. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the episode. All in all, it's a fairly decent episode. And like I said, I'm just wildly curious about Jada and just what motivates her, what drives her, what made her the way she is. Why does she just have this carefree attitude towards her kids, where she hates one, she's about to flash freeze another one for an undetermined amount of time? I mean, this woman's got some issues, and I want to know how we got to that point. So I'm on board with that. A complex, layered, just villainous individual, where she's not she's just a regular person, but she's that twisted. And just, that to me is intriguing. So remains to be seen kind of where it goes, but I'm here for it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. But you guys out there think, let me know in the comments below. Follow me, social media, talk to me there, talk to me here. Until next time, got one more to go, and then we'll be caught up. And The Flash is back tonight. I'll, of course, watch it later, get my review like tomorrow. But first part of Armageddon, we get Brandon Routh back in the saddle as the Atom. Yeah, I'm excited. Let us geek.